Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe or follow no matter where you're listening. We're doing our yearly spooktacular, and this is part 3. Fellas, what did you think of... Whoa, getting a little chilly. It's near dark.
Hey-o. Man, oh man. Queen of the Damned Trailer Park Edition is a fucking great ride.
Yeah, honestly, I'd never really heard of this movie before. I'd seen the cover, but this was pretty good.
Same with me. I recognized the cover, and I thought it was like another movie that was also kind of gross and in the same kind of style. I think it had Judd Nelson in it. I completely forgot it. But this, Brady, this was your pick. This was a treat. This was like an underdog of a treat, too.
I saw a video on the YouTubies, and I was like, how in the hell have I never seen this? When I saw the cast of my man Chains, we got Hudson, and then you got Bishop, and then Vasquez. And I was just blown away that I've never seen a movie with this cast, and all these people are my people.
Let my people go.
I dropped it kind of before the cast, but I wanted to lay down a challenge, and that challenge was to go the entire cast without mentioning the name James Cameron. And we've already failed. This movie was directed at this point by his would-be future ex-wife, Catherine Bigelow, and features a few of his regular, go-to guys. Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen, Jeanette Goldstein.
Yeah. It was a big surprise, and it's one of those movies that has a very slow start for whatever reason, and you get introduced to these characters kind of one by one after being tossed into a van, of course. But like you realize like these are all like familiar faces. Even the dad of the main character, whose name escapes me, he's the trancer guy. You know, he's Jack Death. This is like the movie where everybody here is a character actor.
Yeah, except for, like, the actual fucking lead. Who is this guy?
Who am I? What am I?
I mean, I ain't trying to shit on him. He brought nothing to this movie, in my opinion. Like, it would have genuinely been better without him and just more focused on this Winnebago of fucking doom.
Winnebago.
For sure, make them the lead. This guy, like, the whole reason he is here is because he was horny in the first scene.
For real, Country of the Stat needs to slow his roll.
Yeah.
Cowboy hat or not, this guy just feels like the vehicle to get into the movie. You know, we stumble upon this guy, dark, trying to hit on a lady, then all of a sudden the lady is really accepting of his advances. It's like, yeah, let's go down this dark road. Let's see what happens. And you go from haha to like, oh man, he's about to get got. You know, they're going to stirp him dry or whatever, hang him from the ceiling or whatever vampires do on the weekend. I saw Blade once.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
But no, she just wants to chill out and listen to the night, whatever that means. And he's just like, well, I haven't met too many girls like you around here. You haven't met any girls like me.
And then he gets killed for being a victim of circumstance. I thought you called it your pecker.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And the movie, it's a little slow at the beginning, and it's not very nuanced. You're just kind of like dumped into itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the movie just like, well, by the way, there's vampires, and Lance Hendrickson is their leader. Is this Stone Cold? No, they're not racist enough.
That we're aware of, all right?
Yeah, we don't know.
That's true. They were looking at that one truck driver a little side-eyed.
Yeah. And Bill Paxton went after those two ladies. All the victims did seem to be a little over-melanined.
Over-melanined?
And here I was thinking he just went for the ones with little boy asses.
Yo!
Oh.
Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
Okay, there is a line in here that is delivered, I think, by Lance Henriksen that is very reminiscent of the line Bill Paxton throws down in True Lies, directed by who?
Jimmy Cameron himself. He's king of the world, I hear.
This guy. So yeah, they're doing a little bit of flirting. You know, he ropes the wind with his little lasso to draw her in, and she puts her canine teeth in the side of his neck and gives a little slurp slurp. You know how it is with the vamps.
He was a little upset about it too. He was like kind of taken aback by like how she almost jumped out of his truck to look at a star and all that stuff. And like at this point, he was probably just wishing she was just one of those crystal girls.
Nope, she's a vampire, and we figure it out, I feel like, way before he does. It's like, oh, she doesn't like the daylight, and she just bit my neck. I don't know, I haven't met a whole lot of girls like her.
Yeah.
She overpowered me. And she looks like she weighs 100 pounds. Dude, he's like, I lassoed you. And she's like, no, quit it.
Yeah, let me borderline assault you and just let you pierce your skin a little bit. You'll be all right.
And then leave you running through the fucking desert, getting chased by nocturnal goddamn monsters as you slowly burst into flame in front of your family.
Yeah. For context, this woman is a petite woman. She's not even a normal. She's like an undead Anne Hesh.
Oh no! Didn't she die in a fire?
Kinda, yeah. Fuck.
Roll that TMZ footage.
So questions, fellas. We have Bill Pyre, we have Lance Pyre, we got Jeanette Pyre, and then, Vasquez Pyre. And then you got little fucking Homer. And he's grabbing dicks and threatening people. What's
Wait, which one's Homer?
The little kid.
Smoking the cigarette?
I have him down as Danny Vampirelli.
What's that one guy's name? That Andy Milonakis?
Oh, yeah, he's got a little bit of that
Yeah.
too.
No, I like that comparison a lot because he looks very similar. He's got like that, like stocky kid syndrome or whatever. Like we don't know if he's a monster or not.
Like the first couple of times I saw him in this, I was like, is that Danny Tamborelli? And I looked it up and I never saw, like, because it would be like about the right age for this, right? Like Pete and Pete started like 91, but he was probably like, I don't know. Math is hard.
Well, altogether, we first see this kid in this giant Winnebago that we brought up earlier. And this is also the first time we get to see kind of like the group. Almost said clan, but it's all too on the nose.
The tribe.
There we go. The fucking redneck Lost Boys.
The Lost Proud Boys.
Absolutely. I mean, he straight up tells you, I'll tell you right now, I fought for the South, and we lost.
I dig that he's firmly within his Lance Hendrickson soil. Like, this is what he does. He just has a group of degenerates around him, and he just barks orders at him.
Wearing his outfit from Pumpkinhead, except for his only new accoutrement is that rat tail.
He had one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It was braided.
Damn.
That's a look.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So once we get him inside this Winnebago, May is in there, the girl that he was, trying to get with. This has all been a trap. They have entrapped him.
And he's on the bottom of this Winnebago, mildly confused. Even though there's like 8 strangers around him with sharp weapons and guns.
Mildly confused and still a little horny.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole reason why he's in this situation. And he doesn't even care. Like, at all.
Yep.
Like, I know there's like a through line in this movie where he's like, my dang family, shucks, kick some dirt and whatnot. But he's like, no, I'm here for a reason and I'm just going to chill regardless.
Okay, let me set the mood just a touch. He's running through the open desert, catching on fire. It looks like a scene from Tremors and you're just waiting on the worms to grab him. And out of nowhere comes the fucking USS Sulaco Bago, scooping his ass up. You get to see these people dressed like sand people from Star Wars, and then they start ripping their gear off, and we get to see the vampire tribe, which, chef's kiss. This is where the movie really starts to take off, all right? Because the level of just outlandishness that Bill Paxton's willing to put into this character, and this character specifically, has garnered him, in my personal opinion, my favorite Bill Paxton role. Maybe that'll change just because I've never seen this movie and it was just so refreshing to see Bill acting up so fucking hard. But fellas, we're going to get to a scene a bit later and you guys know what I'm talking about with that bar. And by God, Bill Paxton is my hero.
Yo, I'm kind of right there with you on Bill Paxton. I want people to see this movie just for Bill Paxton's performance because it is something. It's wild.
I'm totally willing to coin a new phrase and award Bill my personal Oscar. We'll talk about it in depth shortly, but like in this moment when he's in the Winnebago, when he's kidnapping our boy, whose name I don't even remember because the main character of this movie is so milquetoast. Whatever.
He's literally just a stand-in for like anyone. I think like, he's just so kind of generic dude.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. We couldn't get Michael J. Fox. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is a gigawatt?
Now, when I watch The Lost Boys, the character Michael is genuinely one of the least interesting characters, but he still has something. He's got like that family drive. He's got his brother. He's got a reason. There's a fucking plot beat with him. This guy, his biggest contribution to this entire movie is him going, oh, fuck, when he gets shot in the stomach with a shotgun. That's it. Other than that, he could have just not been there.
With the same conviction, and this is like a left-hand reference, but with the same conviction, the fella from the movie Highway to Hell, when he gets his guts all blowed out.
Oh, got my guts all blowed out.
Yeah, another shucks kick the dirt moment for him, apparently.
Yeah, he's just kind of going around with this because horny. He's a little confused, but still
Right.
horny. Next thing I got is it's night again, and we're just strolling by a movie theater. Guys, what's being shown at this movie theater?
Critters 2, and there's a large turtle walking out wearing a trench coat.
That's a different movie,
fair.
I'm afraid. That's a different movie. Damn! Yeah, the answer is Aliens, directed by...
Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy-
He just celebrated his 100th birthday. Can't wait to jinx that.
He can't play with Legos no more.
3 to 99.
Oh, nothing worth living for now, Jimmy.
Almost the same as this fucking milquetoast character we have. What's he got to live for? Drinking the blood in the night? But he don't want to do it. He don't want to drink the bloods. He wants to suck on his girl, which I guess, Bram Stoker's Dracula showed it. You could be all like hot and bothered, and just like whenever, Lestat tried to drink old girl dry in that movie, this is all that he's doing. This guy's lame, and Bill Paxton knows it.
Oh man, like I could definitely see him bullying him on production just for the fuck of it, just to see what he can get out of him. But you're 100% right with this guy. The movie doesn't even know what to do with him either, because like they go through these moral decisions like, oh man, should he kill somebody to be a vampire? Should he forget his family? The movie just basically shrugs at me and just like enjoy Bill Paxton's bar scene, because at this point he doesn't do anything.
Well, he starts to, like, I don't want to say wither away, but he gets all, like, I don't know the science behind it, but he gets all, like, greasy looking. It's like he's covered in Vaseline or something when he's, like, when he needs to feed.
Yeah.
I don't know what the science is, but, ugh.
Brother, ugh.
Starts looking like Frodo whenever the ring was really weighing on him.
Yeah.
It just wasn't working for me. Like, this entire time he's just trying to, like, go back and forth between should he, shouldn't he, but you're right, Chandler. He's just, like, 100% boner-fied right now and just can't think straight. So Billy's like, hey, how about we take your mind off things and get you a drink?
Oh, and speaking of getting a drink, what I've got here today is from Ayinger, which is out of Ayinger, Germany, I guess. This is their Oktober Fest beer, a 5.8% Märzen-style lager, and it is just about near dark. Lots of bready notes. This feels very doughy, very traditional, very 4 ingredients and the truth. You know what I'm saying? This is a beer that's been brewed like this for probably 500 years, and you can tell because it's great.
Would it be better if it's shaved?
I like it a little hairy, so, Wait, what?
Bill Paxton doesn't.
Right, and that wonderful line is the product of a wonderful scene. Now, all the fellas are thirsty. Let's sit down and have a drink.
Let's start it out, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're walking into not the titty twister, but like,
Might as well be.
Right.
so there's a jukebox, there's a couple pool tables, there's a greasy little bar with some greasy little people.
Man, why is everything in this movie greasy?
Easy.
That's the fucking tone.
Yeah, it's very seedy, right? Everyone's just kind of disgusting and definitely smelly.
100%. I really can't skip over the wardrobe choices here. Bill Paxton, again, Terminator, he's wearing almost the same outfit he wears in Terminator when he's a punk, except for now instead of just like punk, he's country punk. He's got slick back hair. He looks like someone who would fucking stab you in an alley, and it looks amazing. Like, wardrobe nailed it.
They have that like almost pseudo biker gang badass look from the late 80s.
Yeah, it's like a biker gang,
Yeah.
but like from West Texas, where instead of bikes, they have horses.
And they walk in, and they immediately grab a table. Everyone's looking at them because there's something off. Number one, they got a child in there. Number two, they got this lady with the tits out. The third part is there's a fairly attractive young lady sitting there looking weird. There's a guy that looks like he needs a fix of heroin, just uber greasy thanks to the ring bearing down on him. And then you have Bill Paxton walking up to the bar and just fucking with people immediately.
I'd like to amend that. Fuck with one dude. And that one dude did not deserve it, but man, is it the most entertaining thing in this whole movie.
I wasn't sure what his MO was there. Like, what's your strategy? Did he just, like, come up with this off the cuff? Like, was that just Bill Paxton being Bill Paxton?
I'm going to say yes, because number one, the actor that's supposed to be the guy, the victim,
right.
He seems very confused throughout. And then the secondary actor also seems very confused whenever he is throttling Bill Paxton.
He almost wants to look back at Catherine Bigelow like, are we still rolling?
That's what makes this so genuine, is because, acting is reacting. That's usually the general rule they give to everybody. Mm-hmm. Bill Paxton's fronting on people really hard in a very specific Bill Paxton way, and they're like, is he going to hit me?
Yes, and it comes off that way, and it works. And it's so beautiful because he's picking a fight with this guy, smacking his beer out of his hand, drinking his drink, making him pay for another round, and then pulling milquetoast in front of him to take a punch. And then the guy looks all confused. He goes, "Hey man, I'm trying to teach him a lesson." And he's like, "Oh good, I ain't gotta fight you. I'll beat the shit out of milquetoast." And he commences to beat the shit out of milquetoast.
It's kind of like 90% bullying and 10% flirting.
Yeah, it's definitely a dance, right? They're like all trying to figure out the situation as it's unfolding. And yeah, you brought up that like the guy takes some free shots at this milquetoast dude. And in that moment, he just throws some of the hardest worried punches I've ever seen. He's like, "Okay, wham! I don't know if I should be doing this." Kaplow! He just breaks the guy's nose.
He's just trying to appease Bill Paxton so he doesn't fuck with him anymore.
Right.
Bill's got a plan, and that plan is to wreck house. Milquetoast sees that he has vampiric powers, punches guy across the bar. No one cares.
Yeah. Bill,
on the other hand, has already decided that he doesn't care what Milquetoast is doing, and he wants to fuck with this other guy. And these are quote unquote tough biker guys in a seedy bar who are ready for anything, and they give you that with their immediate vision. Like when you look at him, you're like, "Oh, that's a tough guy. Stay away." Bill Paxton doesn't look like a tough guy, but he is just zero fucks to the wind, and he's over here trying to start a fight with this fella, and the guy's like, "Don't fuck with me. I'll hurt you." And Bill Paxton's like, "Well, do it."
He doesn't look like a tough guy. I just want to jump in. He doesn't look like a tough guy, but he looks like a guy who's got nothing to lose, and that's way more dangerous.
Unless it's his truck in an arm wrestling competition, then he's real hot.
Oh, yeah.
He tries to go over the top on Bill Paxton with this double front choke, and Bill Paxton starts selling like Ric Flair. He's like,
It's so good.
Like selling like one of the best. We talked about this scene a bunch before we started recording because it's just so essential to this movie. The way he pulls off the change of emotion through sarcasm and just straightforwardness is impressive. Like this guy impressively picks Bill Paxton up by the neck and starts choking him, and he's like, ooh, you got me. But then he gives like a look to his buddies like, "This fucking guy." It's genius.
Bill's about to put on a show, and he's like, all right, yeah, you're choking me, guy. And I'm not exaggerating. He's smiling, he's laughing at the guy. Mm-hmm. He reaches over, takes the sunglasses off his head, puts them onto his own face, and begins to throttle him back. And the guy's like, "Oh my God, what?"
Right.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
All at the same time, the bartender's like, "Let me just slowly grab my shotgun." And Bill Paxton, he can just smell stuff like that. He just whips around like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And starts fucking with the guy so hard he can't even load the gun.
He drops the shells, manages to pick him up, blast milquetoast. And then Bill Paxton kills the guy, drinks his blood. That's to be said. But he blasts milquetoast. He walks over, puts his arm around milquetoast and goes, "Hey man, why don't you sit this one out?"
It's starting to get pieced together for me. I think the reason why you like Bill Paxton so much in this role is because he's like a vampiric Beetlejuice. He's just fucking goofy and zany and almost a cartoon character.
I agree with you because he's well aware of his limits, and he's basically impervious. He can't die. We'll get to a point, but vampires are pretty resilient. So like whatever they can throw at him in this bar, he's got in spades. Don't worry about it. They'll take care of whatever. Mm-hmm. And he definitely proves that. One victim after the other here.
With a slow walk. as he is just murdering. He breaks a man's neck, drinks his blood, gets up on top of the fucking bar while the guy is struggling to reload the shotgun in sheer panic, while Bill Paxton is hooting and hollering and kicking drinks. And he walks over, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this kill is one of the most spectacular kills I've ever seen in a movie, just because I've not seen something like it. And I thought Bill Paxton sells it so good. He grabs one of the rafters, and upon his boots are these spurs, which we've heard jingle jangle the entire time. And he kicks his foot forward, and you think he's going to kick the guy in the face. But he cuts his throat on one side, and then he kicks it back, and he cuts it on the other, and then he kicks it forward again. And just, completely lacerates this man's throat into a million pieces. And the whole time he's holding onto this rafter and just screaming with this look of intensity on his face. That suddenly just fades away as soon as the guy dies, because he's like, and that's that. And he hops down like nothing ever happened. Fucking hell.
I almost kind of wish he had more opportunities to use those little boot switchblade things. Yep. Those spurs.
Yeah, those little blade things, those are pretty cool when we get to see them, but I wish we got more of them.
For sure. And, through this whole rite of passage, our milquetoast boy, he still can't decide whether or not he should kill a man. And it's just frustrating at this point, because we've had this amazing scene with everybody involved, basically. And the last guy, he jumps out of a window, escapes. Milquetoast guy runs after him into the dark, maybe even near dark. And he just has another... I don't know, another bullshit moment. He's like, oh man.
He pussies out?
Yeah, because the guy's whining really hard, like, don't kill me, I'm a young man. I have plenty of fuck to give. Or something like that.
Meanwhile, on the side of this movie that we don't give a shit about, Milquetoast's dad and sister are worried sick because he's missing, so they're hounding the cops to try and find him. This Winnebago is traveling all over the place. I think at this point, they've been spotted up in, Kansas. So Daddy decides that he's going to take a trip up there. Milquetoast tries to get in touch with him, doesn't have any money, so he uses the 1-800-COLLECT. We had a baby, it's a boy, that whole deal. They're just on their way somewhere. I don't know where. They're in the middle of nowhere, hitting up motels and hotels and bus stations, whatever they need to do to find their next snack.
But I don't know, that's Jack Death from Trancer. At least 6 of them. And that's what I know him from. He's just that guy. He's just that guy from the movie. So now I'm thinking this could possibly be a sequel because, Helen Hunt's not in this movie, but he could have had a family and that guy as a result. So after all their arduous adventure from Trancers, his dumb fucking kid gets bitten by a vampire in the middle of nowhere and has to feed him blood for the rest of his life. Good shit.
What a dumbass.
Man, he really is.
What happens is our little Danny Vampirelli gets a little thirsty, so he's strolling out. They're at this motel room. Everybody's just having a good time, playing cards, doing what they need to do. He's like, you know what? I'm going to find me a snack. Wanders out, and it just so happens that Milquetoast's sister is at this motel trying to buy a Coke. They just happen to be at the same motel.
Ooh, what a coinky-dink.
That is a coinky-dink. To me, she just reminded me of, Samantha Darko, just, generic, sassy little girl.
Yeah, but I thank goodness she wasn't annoying, or got herself into some precarious situation. Oh, wait.
Yeah, she almost gets drank.
Oh, my gosh.
Like a Capri Sun, you're right.
Like a little Capri Sun.
Little juice box.
Yep.
But he wants to turn her into his forever snack as long as they can watch cartoons at 3 a.m.
I gotta say it, this is where the movie kind of just stops giving a shit. Kind of. Yeah. It's just it's so loose by the time we get to the credits. You could legitimately insert anything in your mind and it would probably work. Right after this, they do steal the kid. The cops are right on their tail. I've never called a gunfight superfluous, but this feels very much that.
Yeah, you're shooting guns at people that are more or less unaffected by guns. Who gives a shit?
So they're inside of a building. The cops are outside. They start spraying bullets in and out. The baddies have to raise up, pull back the blinds to take a shot. And they're getting shot, quote unquote, from the sun coming through the holes punched in the walls of the actual building, and Bill Paxton's face gets two-faced, and he's like, "Oh goddamn!" and fuck. Is it just so fun to see all three of these fellas just really giving it their all with how much they can cuss and how much they can oversell this sunlight hurting them. Again, the special effects, especially on the burns, looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah.
Milquetoast finally redeems himself by getting the fan and getting them out of there. But this is where the movie kind of wraps up, and we kind of don't give a shit about Milquetoast because he gets away. Why do you get away? To get a blood transfusion, because it's that fucking easy because your dad's a vet.
That was easy.
That's why I brought up the movie just kind of falls apart, because at this point, it definitely feels like the bar scene is the reason why this movie exists. Everything else just kind of cantilevers outward, and the end of this movie just fades into like something. So we do get the scene of that, we do get the scene of that shootout, and then there's that like really weird scene where his dad's just like, "Yeah, I can cure you," and this all kind of gets funneled back into itself because you kind of get like a red herring of like, "Oh, everything's okay. He's back at the house. La-di-da. Oh wait, Bill Paxton comes back just to be the most badass guy in the movie again." That's the only reason. I enjoyed it. You guys enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun, but like in and of itself, like what in the fuck just happened, guys? Like what was that ending?
I can tell you.
Hey, we really need to pad this like 15 more minutes. We got to make it entertaining. Bill, we'll give you $600 if you come back in and do an extra hour of filming.
He's like, hell, already in the outfit in the street waiting on him.
Dude, they needed him to defeat himself because no one could beat Bill Paxton's character in this film. So he did it himself.
I do want to just say for the fact how bullshit I think it is that it's just so convenient that he can get like a blood transfusion just from his dad. Like, make up something better than that, please.
Yeah, a lot of convenience for the sake of the movie, right on 90 minutes. Full beans. Mm-hmm. But this movie and Terminator have very similar endings, and it shouldn't be like that. That's all I'm saying.
We switched ice for fire. That was it.
No. I mean, like the first one, like the Terminator, because like, answer me this: for what reason is there a scene, I guess, from the rest of the story where Bill Paxton gets run over and blown up by a tanker truck full of gasoline? This is a vampire movie.
Oh yeah. Is this Chekhov's jackknife? Because we get that little scene earlier where dude kind of explicitly tells you what to do to not jackknife a truck, and then he did it on purpose at the end, specifically to jackknife this gasoline tanker.
He just brought that back to my brain. Like the whole scene where they do come across that one trucker. Yeah, that kind of happened. It didn't make any sense, in fact. And then now within context, not only does it not make any sense, but like it just sounds haphazard now. Like, oh, we got to put something in there so this ending can make sense now.
It's science.
I just want to ask one more thing. How common was hitchhiking in 1987? Because they pick up a lot of random hitchhikers in this movie.
I feel like it had to be like pretty popular. We see it in movies just like this one all the time, and it's always in the middle of America.
I can't imagine just being on the side of the road, sticking out my thumb and waiting for someone to go, "You know what? This guy doesn't look like a murderer. I'm gonna pick him up."
I'm really glad I have that George Carlin soundbite now.
Think about this as well. This is also our second movie where somebody was in a big rig and was like, "So you think you can drive it better than me? Go ahead." Yeah.
Second, I'm sorry, third, we had Over the Top, and then those aliens definitely drove those trucks better than the Handy.
You're right.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
The last thing that I really have a note of before we get to the actual end is while they're trying to save themselves in the car as the sun's coming up, they start using all that like aluminum foil or whatever it is that they have and like spraying like black spray paint over the windows. They're in an enclosed car. There's like 6 of them and they are spraying spray paint. 1980s spray paint too. Inside of a car, they are going to pass out from those fumes.
And destroy the ozone. Thanks, Lance Hendrickson.
Why do you think they combusted so easily? All right, all those fumes did not help. That's why they were burning to begin with.
I understand this movie's trying to like make these guys out to be bad, regardless of the conflict they try to throw in there halfway through the movie. But like the way they die just seemed just kind of shitty. Like, god damn, you know.
Just in a car full of flames because they're vampires and they catch on fire in the sunlight. Who'da thunk?
The power of the sun.
I almost felt like Milquetoast would have just like looked right into the camera and just went like, ooh, and then the credits should have rolled.
Like Renfield from Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yeah. Oh shit, Milquetoast needs lives, but small lives.
They had all kinds of blankets in that car. Why don't they just like roll themselves up in the blankets so that they can't get hit by the sunlight and just wait it out?
That's logic, sir. How dare you?
My bad.
That gets into the territory of like, oh shit, we can't go over the 90 minutes.
They blew up that truck with Bill Paxton. They were like, there went the budget. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up.
No, Bill Paxton was actually in it. That means we don't have to pay him.
Oh, no.
So for me, this movie was everything I wanted out of a potential cult classic. If you like The Lost Boys, this is going to be right up your alley. Is this the best movie I've ever seen? Fuck no. Am I blown away by the performance of Bill Paxton and the mood that these vampires set? Fuck yes. I can't say that it's nothing you've never seen before, but that bar scene alone is cinema perfection.
In my opinion, this movie could have been god fucking awful. This movie had the opportunity to just drive itself off that cliff we see mid-budget movies from the late 80s, you know, especially horror ones kind of fall into, but man, the performances hold this up to a brand new echelon. It's pretty insane. I mentioned earlier, like, this movie kind of balances itself, like, right on the center with that bar scene that you mentioned, Brady, as well. But there's something about Bill Paxton, there's something about Lance Hendrickson, there's just something, even in the auxiliary cast, our main guy, whatever, they're so fun to watch, regardless of what's on scene. You want to see these people get into their shtick, get under other people's skin, and just be fucking dicks. It's a lot of fun.
Y'all mentioned that this could have been much worse, and it really could have been. I'm almost disappointed that it isn't. This is a pretty decent movie. It's not especially well made or anything, but its flaws are kind of like passable, and the cast gives you more than you need to get over. Like, this is a totally decent movie, worth checking out if you like Lost Boys. I mean, it's not too far from that. Bill Paxton does a great job. Check it out.
Well, there you have it. That was Near Dark. If you have any strong opinions about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to bash the bell icon too, and whatever other buttons you got so you don't ever miss what we got brewing up next for you.
Get out there and follow us on them social medias. We got bunches of them. You can find us on YouTube, and guess what, fellas? Everywhere podcasts are available. That's right. Look for us. We're out there. Give us a shot. We're pretty funny. And if you don't, I can strap on some spurs, kick some drinks off a bar, slice your throat up, and make you be finger licking good.
No. See how clean you are.
I knew it was coming.